You're listening to Beyond Wellness Radio, bringing you the cutting edge in health, biohacking, and sports performance. Stay up to date and listen anywhere and anytime on your computer, tablet, or smartphone by subscribing on iTunes. Catch your host, Dr. Justin Marchegiani, as he answers your burning health questions as well as interviews from world-renowned guest experts. For more Beyond Wellness Radio, go to beyondwellnessradio.com.
Hey there, it's Dr. Justin Marchegiani. Welcome to Beyond Wellness Radio. Feel free and head over to beyondwellnessradio.com where you can access our full podcast transcriptions. While you're there, you can also sign up for our thyroid and female hormone video series. This series goes into the root cause of why your hormones are out of balance. While you're there, you can also schedule a functional medicine consult with Dr. Justin, myself, where we'll dig deeper into the root cause of your health challenges. Feel free and think of sharing this podcast with at least one person. This podcast grows by people sharing it. Sharing is caring. If you can think of one person that can benefit from this information, please feel free and share it. If you're enjoying the podcast, make sure you subscribe on iTunes. You can also click below the video or podcast where you'll see the iTunes review button and leave us a review. You can also sign up for the newsletter at beyondwellnessradio.com where you'll get updates before anyone else. Thank you so much and enjoy the show. Hey there, it's Dr. Justin Marchegiani. Welcome back to the podcast. I have an awesome guest, Caitlin Weeks, who is Grass-Fed Girl, grassfedgirl.com. Caitlin's all over Facebook and Instagram and Twitter, has lots of awesome content and recipes, really good info. Caitlin, welcome to today's podcast. How you doing?
Hi, Justin. Nice to see you. Thanks for having me.
Good to see you too. And you were part of the Thyroid Summit, which will be airing in the next few months. So make sure anyone who wants to get more of Caitlin's story around thyroid health, thyroidresetsummit.com. Make sure you subscribe. So you messaged me a few months ago. You're like, hey, I'm starting this carnivore diet thing and I'm getting some pretty good results and I'd like to share it with your listeners. So I was like, this is awesome because I've been seeing lots of stuff online about the carnivore diet. I've heard some really good things about it. And I really want to get someone on who's actually doing it full bore. I think you're month 3 right now. So what first kind of made you want to jump onto this experiment? Are you just curious? How did that go?
Well, back when I got Hashimoto's, my thyroid and everything was kind of messed up, and my digestion was always a mess, and my energy was a problem, and so I just, kind of been doing paleo, then keto, and it's all been helping, and I've been getting better, and all my labs are good, and everything is going better and better, but still, my digestion was pretty slow, and that's a very common symptom of Hashimoto's. And so I was working with a health coach, and if you don't know Nourish Caveman, I know you know her, but a lot of people might not know that her name's Vivica, and she's really an expert on basically everything having to do with health and, thyroid and thyroid's an important hormone. So she knows a lot about all that kind of stuff. And she just kept telling me to do it. And I was like, I don't want to hear that, because it's like, keto is pretty extreme in and of itself. And then, compared to the standard American diet. And then when you say, well, you can't have any chocolate or any, peanut butter or anything, And so I just was like, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. And then it was funny, about the same time, my sister was starting to do carnivore. And I was like, what? And like, she had 2 babies in a row. And the second one, she basically just never lost the weight of the first one. And then she just got pregnant again with the second one. So she never could really lose the baby weight. And then the second time she lost 20 pounds, almost overnight. And I was like, what is happening? Like, you didn't even, and I know she didn't work out or anything like that. And so I was like, not that I even believe in that really, because I know that exercise doesn't really cause weight loss, especially in hormonally challenged women.
Mm-hmm.
So anyway, so she had the 20 pounds off, and we were kind of the same. It's hard for us to lose weight. And then I so I told her, well, what I didn't want to hear from her either. I was like, great, I'm glad it's working for you, but I don't want to hear about it really. Like, I mean, maybe I asked her a little bit, but I was just like, I'm not doing that. That's crazy. I love my vegetables. I love my broths and my soups, and I'm a big cruciferous fan, and I love my sauerkraut, and I love my Brussels sprouts.
Which are all kind of very good, like low sugar type of vegetables anyway. They're very non-starchy anyway.
And I love chocolate. I'm a huge chocoholic. So, I mean, of course, no sugar, very low sugar. But I was just like, I don't want to hear any of that. Like, I love my stuff and I don't want to change,
Right.
And, she said, but slowly with these two, like in my ear, I was like, all right, well, I'm going to be home for like 3 months, so I'll try it. But first, there was no way I was going to do it for 3 months. I was just going to do it for 30 days. Vivica said, do it for 30 days. I was like, okay, I guess. So I started, and the one thing that kind of got me was like, you can eat all you want. And I was like, all right. I mean, because I hate being hungry, and I don't like counting. I don't like macros. I don't like any of that crap. So I was like, if I don't have to count anything and I could eat until I'm full, or really full, then there was like, okay, I'll try it.
Now, you were already coming from like kind of a keto paleo template, right? So you were already doing like most of your carbs were primarily veggies anyway. You ate good fats. Like I think you did grass-fed butter and coconut and all that. You were pretty good with all those good fats, right?
Yeah. I mean, I've done that since 2009. I've been kind of paleo-ish and keto too, because I was always eating kind of low carb because I knew I didn't really tolerate a lot of sugars and all that maple syrup and coconut sugar and all that stuff. It never really agreed with me. So I try to keep my fruits down to like berries and stuff like that. So I was always kind of low carb anyway.
Your carbs were primarily around like 30 or 50 or so net carbs, like pre-carnivore, right?
Yeah. So, I mean, I thought, because I've done keto so many times and like done it really strict and tried to do just 20 carbs. And so I thought, well, am I going to get the keto flu this time? And because I never got it before, because I would think I was already kind of low carb anyway. So, but this time, whoa, I got it. It was bad. Like I had never really had to worry about electrolytes and stuff before, but this time it was like, I always feel like I was going to pass out if I didn't have that salt. And I would keep like a little thing of like Redmond salt with me all the time.
Yes.
And I would just have to dump it like on my tongue. I mean, it was really, really bad. Like, and I still get that way sometimes. Like I still have to, like, I'll get this like elbow pain and then I'll know like, okay, I need my salt. And I'll just wet my finger and stick it in the salt and then just like lick it, because I don't like drinking. Some people make those like electrolyte drinks and stuff, but I cannot drink. If it's in a big salt in a big water, I can't drink it. Like it's so gross.
I wake up every morning with I do like an 8 ounce or like 4 ounces of water, and I just put the whole bottom, a bunch of Redmond's free sea salt, and I just shoot it down real fast. I love Redmond's. It's just one of the best salts there is.
I mean, I just prefer it on my tongue. If I know I have to drink this big thing, I'm like, ugh.
Yeah, I can't do a big thing. I got to do like on a shot, but yeah, that way works good. And then I'm just curious, can you kind of like walk the listeners? So like right now, kind of a day in the life, what does breakfast, lunch, and dinner look like for you? And then did you have to cut a lot of the other fats out, like coconut oil or grass-fed butter? How did you navigate the extra fats that you may have added into?
Well, too many questions at once. So the normal day of food is just like, I mean, really it's not that different because most people eat eggs for breakfast. So you can eat eggs and, I mean, bacon. I don't really do bacon, but you could do that. I would make sure, it was a sugar-free bacon probably.
Yeah, like a Peterson's or something.
Yeah. And then I eat Kerrygold butter, and you could do ghee. I mean, you can do it completely dairy-free. I haven't noticed a big difference either way, but you could do that. And you could use beef tallow, something like, you want an animal-based fat. So you want to limit your plants as much as possible. So you kind of have to think about that. It's like you can't can't use the coconut oil all the time. I mean, like if you have a little bit of olive oil or a little bit of coconut oil, like if it's in the pan or something, like sometimes I reuse pans, so it's like if it's already in the pan, whatever, But like, or if you go to a restaurant, I'm not going to be like, oh, you have to cook my food in beef tallow. That it's the same kind of thing as, when you're eating out, you can't be as picky. But anyway, so normal day of food. So I drink coffee. Some people say no coffee at all, but to me, I just couldn't do that. So they just drink water and beef and salt. Like that's like the highest tier
of carnivore. Water, beef, and salt.
Right, and just meat fat.
So if it's like a beef broth or a chicken broth, that's okay.
I mean, yeah, some people don't do chicken at all. I think there's kind of like levels, and I'd say I'm probably in the middle of, or maybe on the most lenient level, even though it's super strict. So then for lunch is just like, I bought a huge thing of the Butcher Box ribeyes, and so I'll just heat up one of those and cook it on the stove. And but you can also, like, I'm finding it easier to skip meals here and there. Or like if you don't eat your breakfast till 11, then and then you eat, and now it's getting dark so early. You're eating at 5, so it's like you eat 11 and 5. I mean, you're going to be, that's it, So, or 10 and 6, or something like that. It's a lot easier to skip meals, because if you're eating a lot, then you don't have to eat every 4 hours. So. Yeah, steak, and then maybe like a hamburger, maybe like a half a pound or even a pound of ground beef at another meal. I mean, that's a really cheap way to, you can get a grass-fed beef at Aldi for $4.50, for a pound. So sometimes I'll eat the whole package, and you just making a hamburgers and that's it. I mean, it's super simple. And just like right away, I love the simplicity. You don't have to clean up as much. You don't have as much, all these different, pans and different things to clean up, and you don't have to buy as much. It seems like it'd be more expensive, but vegetables are actually really expensive. So,
I know, right? And this is a big shift from you, because your first cookbook was on the Paleo Mediterranean diet. So everyone listening, we'll put the links for that book below. But Paleo Mediterranean has a lot of other types of vegetables and other types of recipes. So it must have been an interesting transition for you, like having to make more elaborate meals to now having very simple things like, hey, grill up a ribeye, like, hey, here's some eggs, like just very simple. What was that transition like for you, kind of making everything easier?
It's just so simple. I don't know. I mean, you just kind of but you eat more. So whatever you would eat with vegetables, you would eat double the meat that you would normally eat. You know what I mean? Because
and are you worried about kidney stress or any of these things? People say, oh, too much animal protein. Are you worried about that?
I really wasn't. I did take a thyroid test right after the first 30 days. And my antibodies dropped 30 points. And I really don't have that many anyway. So it was like, now they're like at 60, I think, and they were at 100. Something like that. So I was surprised to see that drop, and then that was kind of like a motivator. Like after 30 days, I was like, oh, well, if my body is liking this, then great. If it went up or something, I would be scared,
So how did your thyroid numbers look? What did that post look like? Like T4, TSH, T3? Did it go up or at least stay the same?
Yeah, it was about the same.
It didn't drop or anything?
No, I mean, I don't think it was. I mean, I showed him to I have a holistic doctor here, And I didn't even tell them, that I was doing carnivore, but they were like, "Oh, it looks fine. Your thyroid looks fine." It was no significant change, in
And you're currently taking Armor, right?
Hmm?
You're taking Armor?
I take
NP.
Yeah, I think it's NP Thyroid.
There's NP and there's Nature Thyroid. They kind of easily get confused.
It's not Nature Thyroid, because I've taken Nature Thyroid before, and I take NP.
That's the big one that everyone's going to right now. There's kind of a shortage with some of the others.
It's Stella.
Yes. Yeah, Estrella. Yep, that's correct. All right, good. So you're on that, and then you really didn't notice any major drop, because that's kind of a thing with a lot of people, going keto, which, I imagine you're still in ketosis. So, I mean, even though you're carnivore, technically you're still keto, right?
I mean, I've taken my ketones. I've taken my ketones a lot with the Keto Mojo.
Mm-hmm.
And when I do regular keto, I'm not a big, shower of ketones. But I can always tell because my breath is terrible and, you smell and everything. But with this, it's the same way. I can tell because sometimes my breath is terrible and, my body smells funny and everything smells funny, but I don't register high ketones at all. Like, it's like 0.2, 0.4. Mm-hmm. It doesn't really matter that I've taken them all different times of the day. But I'm just like, I'm not going to worry about it because I think I can feel it,
Yeah, and you're probably just burning a lot of it up too, maybe for using it for fuel.
And and you asked about the kidney stones. No, I'm not worried about that. I think I would feel, because I'm very sensitive and my energy is if I was feeling bad, then I would know, right away.
And I asked you that question because a lot of people, it's kind of a common myth out there in the natural health world. Oh, too much meat will cause kidney issues. Well, here's the deal. If you have strained kidneys or kidney disease already, then higher amounts of protein may be an issue because the filtration's already impaired. But if your kidneys aren't impaired, no, protein won't be a problem. There's really no research actually proving that. If you don't
already have a disease or something.
Yeah. And then here's the thing. Most people that have kidney disease, it's typically from high blood sugar.
That's from diabetes.
Yeah. 80% of people that need kidney transplants, it's from actual diabetes. So they're kind of confusing the macronutrients there. It's really the refined sugar and the excess carbs. So good. I wanted to highlight that. And it's interesting though. You said the elbow, you get elbow joint pain, and then the minerals really help that. Can you elaborate on that?
That's just one signal I get for my.
Any other? Any twitching or spasms at all?
I feel kind of like up here, kind of, just kind of soreness in my back and stuff. But when it was first starting, it was more like lightheadedness. Like I need to have something right now. And one thing that I didn't say, but I made bone broth, especially when I started. Every day I would drink like 2 or 3 big cups of it because I make it in my Instant Pot and I just strain it off and then just drink it. And that's a way to put a lot of salt. You have to really put a lot of salt in that because that's a savory food anyway. So it's just like really easy to put a lot of salt in it. And that was an easy way for me to get a lot of the salt. And then of course I heavily salt my meats and stuff, but that's usually not enough. And I think people can quit because they may not feel well and they're not using enough salt. That's a big mistake. And they're going to blame, carnivore when it's really not. That's not what's wrong. It's that they're not having enough salt.
And then when you're picking the cuts of meat, can you talk about the cuts? It sounds like you're trying to choose like fattier cuts. I could picture people really getting into trouble on a carnivore diet, really just choosing leaner cuts of meat. What's your thoughts on that?
That even happens to me now. Like yesterday I ate like some dark meat chicken, which you'd think would be okay. And it was like pieces of a whole chicken. I ate like the wing something, but after dinner, I was like, I didn't get enough fat. Like I could feel it. Mm-hmm. So then I went back and I made some like scrambled eggs with a bunch of butter in it. And then I felt fine, you know? So, yeah, people really have to get the fattier cuts and cook them in fat. And I mean, like chicken wings are one of my favorite foods because they have so much fat on them. And ground beef is, you really want to get like an 80-20. I know US Wellness sells a 75-25. And so if you want to order from US Wellness, you can put your link for that.
Get a 55-45 from them. You can get the keto burger.
They don't have, they have a 75-25, which is not found in grocery stores. So, but I found even from grass-fed farmers, like if they say it's, a lot of them sell 90-10, it's like gross, you know? I don't want that. And you want at least like an 85-15 with a ground beef. And you can add some butter in it or add some extra fat to it when you're cooking it. If you don't do that, you're not going to feel good at all. It's just pure and simple. You're not going to, I mean, you can do roasts and, but you know, eat all the fat on it.
Now, what's your experience with, like, because now you're missing some of the fermented food. So I'm just curious, are you concerned about, I'm not getting the sauerkraut or the fermented cod liver, or I guess you could do fermented cod liver oil, but like, hey, I'm not doing all the sauerkraut or maybe the kombucha. Are you concerned about the fermented side of the fence there?
Well, I just did a Genova stool test. Mm-hmm. It's like GIFX, I guess it was called. And they right out, it was funny because, and I've been doing carnivore maybe 2 months then, and one of her comments was like, this is one of the best like microbiomes I've ever seen. And I was like, what? Like, and I mean, this was like my holistic doctor. I didn't tell them that I was doing carnivore because I thought they would tell me not to. So I just like didn't tell them, but I was surprised because you'd think eating nothing but meat, you would have like, you'd be deficient in some strains or something like that. So, I mean, I don't miss the actual foods. It's funny, you'd think you crave this or crave that, but you're so full all the time. You're just like, you don't even think about it.
Are you trying to do at least 2 meals a day or so, 2 to 3? Is that kind of where you fall?
Like if I know I'm going to have too big, like a lunch, a big, because I'm a really social person, so, and especially over the holidays, you have these big things coming up, and I always have lunch with people, and so it's like if I know I'm going out to lunch, then I'll have a small breakfast, or if I'm going to lunch early, then I won't eat breakfast, you know, I'll just have coffee or something. But then if it just depends on the day, so but it has become a lot easier to skip a meal if I didn't feel hungry. And sometimes you're just not hungry at all and you're just like, whatever, and just go.
Do you ever get any low blood sugar symptoms at all? Kind of feeling shaky or kind of that jitteriness at all?
Sometimes, I mean, if you really wait too long, you'll get, you know, too hungry, but
8 hours, 7 hours, is that kind of where that cut 6? What's that cut off for you?
It doesn't really happen during the day, but like, let's say I woke up and like I was gonna, like there was a lunch like I didn't eat breakfast and then lunch came on too late, you know, like you're waiting around for lunch and it's like, you know, 1, 2, like if you skip breakfast and so it's been overnight and then all morning, then maybe you could be like, oh, I need to eat something, you know, but that'd probably be the only time because during the day it's just not. Because if you ate lunch, you're not going to be passing out before dinner. No way, you know?
Exactly. So that's really cool that you had the stool test done and they saw your microbiome still look good. So the whole idea that you have to get all these extra carbs or resistant starch in there didn't seem to make too much of a difference though with you.
No, I mean, I was surprised. I wish I had like recorded exactly what she said. She was just like, this is one of the best ones you've ever seen. I was like, oh my gosh. And then I'm going to do next Monday, I'm doing a food allergy test. So I'm hoping she doesn't say it's a red meat or ground beef sensitivity.
I know, right? That's the only concerning part is like you're eating a lot of that. Now, could you rotate between like, fish, fowl, pork, lamb, beef? Like, could you just be more like have more of that variety in there? As long as it's animal, it's okay, right?
You can. I mean, some people, like, if you follow like Jordan Peterson and Michaela Peterson, they're like kind of well known in the carnivore. I mean, they eat like just beef, water, salt, or sometimes.
And she had severe autoimmunity that affected her joints. I know we have someone in the chat is asking about that, because I see people that have severe ulcerative colitis or autoimmune stuff. They really benefit by just cutting out all vegetable matter. It's like something to do. Maybe it could be a lectin thing or an anti-nutrient thing, but I find that people really benefit, especially severe autoimmune people like Michaela, for instance.
Yeah, I mean, I think that if I hadn't have done all the things I've already done, I wouldn't be as healthy as I am now. Like if I had continued to eat a standard American diet when I got Hashimoto's, but for me, that was a wake-up call, and I changed dramatically. And that helped so much. So, I guess everybody's different in how their disease progresses and presents itself. I mean, she was sick since she was a little kid, and maybe I was too in a way, but it wasn't, wasn't crippling or anything like that. It was just like those little signals like, oh, you have, ear infections and urinary tract infections and that kind of stuff that kids get,
Exactly. And how did it affect like kind of bowel motility? Did you notice any shifts or changes there, or did everything kind of stay status quo on the motility side?
I mean, that's kind of why I'm doing all this testing. It's still kind of the same. I haven't seen a lot of, as far as the slow motility is still kind of the same. But one thing that is really different, and this would speak to the vegetables, is the bloating is so much less. It's just like, you don't have this big up and down of the bloating. When most women, maybe men aren't as aware of it, but women are always complaining about this big bloating up and down depending on what they ate or how much they ate, or so it's like you just don't have that at all, and that's really nice. And I think that speaks to how hard it is to digest vegetables. And I mean, I always think of things in an ancestral perspective. It's like, if we were hunter-gatherers, would we have even had access to these vegetables what we see now,
Maybe harder. Definitely maybe harder to get access to all of them, for sure.
I mean, maybe we would have had some foraged greens or something like that. But would we have had a cauliflower like this big and, ate the whole thing and in cauliflower mash,
Yeah.
a bunch of butter on it, I mean, I just wonder that those kind of vegetables, I mean, they kind of seem like agricultural products as well, because it's just these huge vegetables. And I mean, if we didn't grow things, we wouldn't have, and the hybridization where things like a blueberry would be like this big, and now they're like
exactly, and maybe a little more tart, for sure. What's your take on like a lot of the antioxidants and the polyphenols that we find in like a lot of our vegetables and plant matter? We're not quite getting those. Do you worry that, hey, maybe we're not getting enough of that, or are you saying, well, hey, maybe we're getting some of them because the animals that the meat we're purchasing is more grass-fed, more pasture-raised, so some of that's maybe passing through the meat? And then also,
I tried that. That was in nutrition school. I tried to say that in one of my answers, when she did not like that. So
what's your opinion on that? Because I mean, there is a lot of antioxidants and compounds that we don't necessarily know about, in plants that are beneficial. But I mean, it's also, there's meat, but there's also organ meat too. So are you trying to get any extra organ meats in there? What's your thoughts on missing some of those antioxidant compounds?
Well, I feel like one thing that's, when we're talking about antioxidants, it's like, we have to have all these antioxidants because what we're eating is oxidized, so we have to have, so it's like, if you're not eating a bunch of stuff that you need all this antioxidants for, then maybe you don't need, of course it comes from environmental as well, but I mean, one of the big things, I mean, I'm not totally sure about all the antioxidants, but one of the things is vitamin C, that the standard American diet, because it uses up so much vitamin C that we actually don't need as much if we're not eating a standard American diet.
Some of the oxidative stress in the food requires us to need more antioxidants. So the whole idea is because we're decreasing some of that oxidative stress from the anti-nutrients in the plants, we don't necessarily need as much on the animal side. That's one theory, right?
Yeah. And I mean, it seems to be working for me so far. So, I mean, and like I said, if I start to feel bad, I mean, I'm the first one to break out the broccoli. I mean, so.
Do you think we get any of those antioxidants though? Like, if a cow's eating grass all day long to make that meat, do you think we're getting some of those antioxidants from the grass, right? That the cow's kind of eating and ruminating. Do you think some of that passes down into the meat?
Maybe not in the same form, but I think we're getting, the omega-3s that we're missing out on from grain-fed beef. And also, saturated fat is a huge antioxidant, and people don't give it enough credit as well.
Yeah.
So.
Cholesterol is an antioxidant. That is true. And then what about organ meats? How do you kind of plug in organ meats on this kind of a template?
Well, I mean, an easy way for people if they don't like them is the liver pills. Like I know Vital Protein sells them. The Pure, I think it's good. There's several companies that sell grass-fed beef or liver pills. I like liver, so it's not really been a problem for me to, like, a lot of times I'll buy whole chickens and then the insides, I'll just bake the insides of the chicken next to the chicken, and so you'll have the liver in there and you'll have the heart. So I'll just eat those while I'm like cooking, because they cook faster than the other stuff. So I'll just eat those real quick. And I mean, my husband likes liver too. So I'll marinate. If you marinate beef liver, for example, in vinegar and some like paprika and cumin, and that's my husband's favorite stuff, then it takes that livery taste away, and just marinate for like 30 minutes and then grill it up. And it really tastes good if you grill it. So that's one of our favorite ways to eat it.
That's good. Excellent. And then what about salt and pepper and all of those type of spices? I mean, can you only do the Redmond's real salt, or can you do any of other spices like that, or garlic powder, onions? What about those?
I think that it just depends. I think the more you keep it simple, the more dramatic results you're going to have. But, I think there's an emotional component too. I mean, if you feel like really sad or depressed that you're not getting any of that stuff, I know, and also the autoimmune component. So, I mean, this is an autoimmune diet. So if you haven't done that before, because I have done it before, and I didn't see any big changes with taking the paprika or taking the peppers and that kind of thing. So if you haven't ever done that, then this is a great opportunity to take those nightshade spices out and see if that helps you. But if you've done it and you just want your paprika and stuff, I mean, I'd say keep it to a minimum. Just don't eat, every day, put something, but, primarily use like salt and pepper. And then, every once in a while, if you want to have some chicken wings or something like that. But really, I'd be more worried about all the sauces because they have sugars and things. Yeah. So like, I don't do a lot of sauces and that kind of thing, because that's going to be adding carbs, especially if you don't use really clean sauces like Primal Kitchen or something like that. It's going to be adding a lot of weird ingredients to your meats. So definitely be careful of that.
Totally makes sense. All right, before we wrap up here, Caitlin, is there anything else you kind of want to add to the listeners here or share to the listeners that was impactful on your carnivore journey? Things that you did, things that were huge, things that were impactful, things that we shouldn't do. Anything else you want to highlight?
I mean, I just say if you're interested or you feel like you've tried everything else and that then this might be the missing piece for you. I mean, it's really helped me have some breakthroughs because I have done everything else and I felt like I was hitting my head against the wall. So this was a really big breakthrough for me because it helped with my weight loss and my it's still starting to help with my digestion and bloating and that kind of thing. So I feel like if you feel like you've done everything else, this is really a great step to kind of just go to that next level and feel your best. So, I mean, just try it, but make sure you have a lot of salt and, make sure you're not trying to be on a diet. You want to really eat more than you think that you should, because I think for women especially, they're always like, oh, I'm just going to have this little like 4-ounce piece of meat. And it's like, that's not going to cut it on carnivore. You got to really eat, and you got to eat more fat and more meat than you think you should.
Mm-hmm. Totally makes sense. Well, thank you so much, Caitlin. Again, Caitlin's website is grassfedgirl.com. Lots of great opt-ins there, great free information guides and recipes as well. Caitlin, thank you so much for being a part of the podcast, and look forward to chatting with you soon. You take care.
Thanks for having me. Have a great day. Bye.
You too. Bye.
Got a question for Dr. J? Go to beyondwellnessradio.com and click the questions button. Then tune in to hear the answer. Also, if you like the show, click below to review us on iTunes. For more Beyond Wellness Radio, go to beyondwellnessradio.com.